Hi everyone. Today we're going to be doing a tour through this latest watercolor book that I did, and it's called Welcome to My House, and it's going to be full of houses, obviously. I will do a page by page at the end of this, but first I'll tell you how I put this together. First of all, for the covers, I always use this art board. It's not very flexible. It's tough. It's strong. I love it. You can get it at a hobby shop like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, etc. I start with that for the covers, front and back, and cover it with something, whether it's fabric or paper or whatever. In this case, I used some scrapbook paper, and this is sort of the way they come. This is a little bit smaller piece than I have seen before, but this is just to give you an example. And usually they come in a 12 by 12 inch sheet, and I use those a lot to cover my cardboard for the covers. And generally, well, actually what I specifically did on this is I cut the size that I want for the front and the back, and then I find whatever scrapbook paper I like. And I loved these houses. That's actually where I got the idea to paint houses, just because I loved this. And then I painted these on here. This was all black and white. Anyway, I put the scrapbook paper on top of this, and I do that by gluing it first. I brush it on with this type of a brush. I just have one that I use only for gluing, and I wash it out really well when I'm done. And this is the type of glue I use, just a plain Elmer's glue, and brush that on there really well. And then lay the paper over top of that and make sure I get it really nice and flat. And sometimes I use, well, most times I use this scrap piece of dowel rod that I have, and I just kind of work it back and forth to get it really, really flat, and then do any trimming I need to. But that's how I put together these covers on almost most of the books that I use or do. Excuse me. And then after I have the covers done, I cut my watercolor paper, and you don't have to use watercolor paper. You can do this with anything. You can use it for charcoal or colored pencils, or, you know, any type of art project, or even photos for that matter. But I use this watercolor paper that I cut for all of the pages. And I usually cut them a little bit smaller than whatever the size of the covers are. It looks a little, I think it looks a little neater when it comes in like that. Just a speck when it's indented just a bit. And on this one, actually, I zigzagged the edges. And the way I did that was with a rotary tool that I have, and I have this blade. I bought it years ago. They probably still make them, but anyway, it's like a zigzag, and I cut the edges that way just because I wanted something different than I normally do. Anyway, so then I have the pages done. I do my watercolor in this, you know, anything that I'm going to be doing, and like I said, I will be going through each one of these pages so you can see them. And then what I do is, when I'm finished with that, I I found this really cool punch set on Amazon the other day, and I think it was only like $7. In the past, I've used a paper hole punch, a single paper hole punch like that, and it's just really hard to get through this heavy cardboard or artboard. And so I found these metal punches. They're real sharp, and it comes with this little pad, and you just hammer away, you know, and it drives right through, then it leaves just a beautiful hole. It's very sharp and clean. And any of the products that I use in my projects, you'll find a link below this for those products so that you could do this project. Nothing has been left out. Anyway, so I get the holes punched in the covers, and then I go through with just my hand hole punch or a 3-hole punch. I also have a 3-hole punch that I set, and I can punch those all at the same time, but you could do them singly, just through the paper. This kind of punch is just fine. And then once they're all put together, the only thing else I use then is these rings. I call them binder clip rings or whatever. They come in a variety of sizes. I do a lot of these books, So I have various sizes. You can see this would be too big for that. This would be pretty little for that. And so I find one of the sizes in between to hold this all together. Anyway, that's it. That's how I put this together. And I'm going to go through and you will see each page of this. There are not very many. I think there's only 10 or 12 pages in this book. It was a short one. And that's going to be it for the tour of this book. And below you will also find a link to my YouTube channel where you'll find, probably 30 or 40 other videos on either DIY projects doing, artwork, or tours of a lot of my other books, that type of a thing. So we'll see you another time.